He's Chase Sr., I'm Harrison Graham. We're going to talk some college football recruiting here on Any Given Thursday by Chat Sports. The top 25 uncommitted recruits leading up to early signing day. Hey, it's recruiting season, Chase.
When I was at Temple University overseeing and following the Matt Rule rebuild, one of my favorite events every year was going to the Temple practice facility, and on the morning of signing day, we would be there, myself, Zach Kelb, who hosts a show on CBS Sports Radio now, and we'd do a show as the papers came in from all of their recruits who had committed to Temple. It was an awesome experience to see the recruits that Temple got at the time under Matt Rule, but also the excitement and knowing that they're entering a really exciting chapter in their lives. And for all of these recruits, congratulations to them in advance for picking their colleges. Of course, a lot of them over time are going to enter the transfer portal. A lot of them have NFL aspirations, and they're not going to reach that level of success, but they earn themselves this position to be some of the highest touted recruits in the country. Congratulations in advance. It's such an exciting day for everybody involved, whether you're covering it or you're involved with it.
So Chase is going to guide us through these names, and I'll give some background and kind of take a look at the crystal balls and which direction they could be leaning in. So let's get it kicked off here, Chase.
Yeah, Harold Perkins, 5-star linebacker.
Yeah, number 5 overall player in this class. Top 4 players have already committed. He's the top linebacker as well. Number 1 overall player in Texas. Now, heavy Texas A&M lean. LSU and Texas, other, I'll put finalists in air quotes. Sounds like Jimbo Fisher's going to get him, but you never know what could happen on signing day.
Domani Jackson, 5-star cornerback out of the very famous Mater Dei High School in California.
If you watch the Michigan football report, Michigan was in the final 3, but Jackson pulled them out, so now it's down to USC and Alabama. Now, Bama was considered the favorite after he eliminated the Wolverines, but once Lincoln Riley got that USC head coaching gig, which is where Jackson was initially committed to back in November, that has shifted things. I would say a slight lean toward USC, but Alabama's still firmly in the mix here.
See, when I think about building football teams, I think about the offensive and defensive lines. Our next guy, Shamar Stewart, 5-star defensive lineman out of Florida. He can really wreak havoc coming off the edge and interior.
Yeah, number 9 overall player, heavy Texas A&M lean here as well. You're going to see that a lot. Jimbo Fisher's been killing it this year. Georgia, Miami, other finalists. I will mention this, Chase. He is out of Opelika, Florida. Mario Cristobal did meet with him recently, so he is trying to make a push to keep Stewart back down in the state of Florida.
We stay in the trenches, but on the offensive side of the football, it's Devon Campbell, 5-star offensive lineman out of Arlington, Texas, not far from the Chat Sports studios here in Dallas.
Yeah, number 10 overall player. Producer Jeremy Chuggs actually used to cover some high school football here in Texas. He's seen him play, says he's a good player. Interior offensive lineman here, number 3 player in the state of Texas. Heavy Texas lean, but Bama, Oklahoma, USC, LSU been in the mix as well. He is visiting Georgia this weekend, so can Kirby Smart make a late push? But as of now, crystal ball pointing toward Texas.
Staying on the offensive line, Kelvin Banks out of Summer Creek High School in Humble, Texas.
Yeah, number 15 overall player, number 4 overall player in the state, the number 2 offensive tackle. A&M lean, but not super heavy. Texas, the other finalist. We'll see if the Horns can make a push between now and signing day. Who did he decommitted? One of the Oregon decommits. Remember, Oregon's been losing some players since Mario Cristobal took the Miami job, so keep that in mind as well.
Do want to get producer Chuggs on the mic here. You covered Campbell, you covered Banks. What do you know about those 2 recruits?
Campbell, he's one of the biggest maulers in this class. He's a huge interior lineman. Too small. His arms are too small to kick out.
Okay.
But he really translates to a really good guard.
Okay.
Has some good mobility, good pulling guard. I could see him starting at a left guard as a sophomore or a junior for whatever school he attends. Kelvin Banks, this dude is nasty. The only thing I need to tell you about him is he recently put a clip up of him playing in the high school playoffs this season. The clip was him knocking out the outside linebacker from the other team. Knocked him out cold. That's all you need to know about Kelvin Banks.
One of the best parts of football, watching all 22 film, watching replays, or just the game, if you watch the trenches, watching offensive linemen pull out in space, get to that second and third level, and then just watching guys who are 350 pounds drive all the way downfield, blocking some of those defensive backs.
You know who does that well? Trent Williams.
Oh, dude.
He might be the
graded
best
player, according to Pro Football Focus, in the NFL. He's a joy to watch. You know what's a joy to watch? Your favorite team. So right now in the comments section, let us know who your favorite squad is. I always take joy in watching my squads, win or lose. You let us know your favorite squads right now in the comments section. If you're new to us here at Chat Sports, of course you have to subscribe to the channel, but also we love when the viewers flood the comments section. Move ahead on this list, Denver Harris, 5-star cornerback.
Elite name, number 17 overall player in the class, North Shore High School, which has just been a college and NFL just prodigy the last few years. They've had a ton of big players. That's where Zach Evans went, by the way, Chase.
Great running back.
A&M lean, slight. Texas and Bama in the mix. Crystal Balls are saying from recruiting services 24/7 Sports Composite, 60% A&M lean. So he's certainly still deciding between himself and his family, of course.
Edge rushers, one of my favorite, Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah, number 22 overall. Don't get confused with Marvin Jones Jr., the NFL player. That would make this kid the third. But fourth-ranked player out of the state of Florida. Heavy Alabama lean. Florida State and Georgia in the mix. Did visit USC recently as Lincoln Riley's trying to make a push for him.
A lot of offensive and defensive linemen, to no surprise. Josh Connerly, another one of them, offensive tackle out of Seattle.
Yeah, Rainier Beach High School up there. Number 23 overall, the top player in the state of Washington. Slight Washington lean over Michigan, but James Yoder actually got me some info on this. He thinks this kid will go to Washington for a couple of reasons. One, he had a visit lined up for the Michigan-Ohio State game, did not show up, so that's a red flag. Two, the Michigan recruiting director of recruiting left for the University of Washington. So probably leaning Washington there, but Michigan's still in the mix.
IMG Academy pumps out recruits like crazy. Kamari Wilson, another one of them, and for the first time, we go to the safety spot.
Yeah, number 2 overall safety in the class, 5th best player out of Florida. Heavy Georgia lean, but A&M and LSU also in the mix here.
Jacoby Matthews, a 4-star safety as we stick in the defensive backfield. Out of Louisiana, we know a lot of good recruits come from that region of the United States. That's a big reason why Brian Kelly took that LSU job.
LSU lean, A&M firmly in the mix, though, here. I'd say it's 60-40, Chase, pretty close. Obviously, Brian Kelly's trying to get on the trail quickly there to keep these kids home, and that's the key at LSU. You have to keep the good 4- and 5-star Louisiana kids home, and we'll see if Kelly's able to do that in year 1 as the LSU coach.
Before we continue to break down the top 25 uncommitted recruits in the 2022 class here in high school, what are you waiting for? Here we have a saying at Chat Sports, we are built different. Why is that? Because we're pushing out multiple videos a day covering the NFL, NBA, college football, anything of significance. We have you covered, and we do it in a fun, entertaining, and informative way. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below as we close in on 270,000 subscribers. We continue to move forward in this list. Enai White, 4-star edge out of Emotep in Philadelphia. My grounds.
Yeah, I had to ask you what exactly that was.
The way you said it was hilarious.
Charter school, correct?
Yes, a charter school. Yeah.
Number 1 player in the state of Pennsylvania this year, 37 overall, number 3 edge rusher, heavy A&M lead. So Jimbo's recruiting everywhere, man, for the Aggies. He's actually going to visit again this weekend, so if they can, good chance to seal the deal there. Bama and Georgia also in the mix as he's eyeing the SEC.
James Franklin could never. Amari Abor, 4-star edge out of Duncanville High School. This is a guy who producer Chuggs knows about. We'll go to Harrison and then Chuggs. You can chime in as well.
Yeah, 50-50 on the crystal ball between Ohio State, who Ryan Day recently visited with him, and Oklahoma. Now, we'll see if Brent Venables can convince him to stay. Tell us what you know about this kid, Jeremy, out of Duncanville.
Yeah, I've watched him play a couple times. He's really active on the edge, really good in the run game as well as the pass. I mean, he's from Duncanville, and they have a saying there at Duncanville called lock the gates, which means once the other team is in, they're locking the gates, and it's you against them, and you're going to want to get out. And he is the exact representation of that. He is a man. And, I mean, obviously, being a TCU alum, his coach, Coach Samples, one of the most legendary coaches in high school football.
Yeah, Duncanville's been one of the prime time just Texas recruiting high schools over the last decade or so.
Yeah, we know that Ohio State is just unbelievable offensively. They need defensive cats like that. Next up, it's Ernest Greene, little inside offensive lineman, interior guy who can play guard center.
Yeah, St. John Bosco High School, one of the strongest schools in the country for producing high school talent into the college level. 40 overall player, number 3 player in California. Heavy Georgia lean here. Bama trying to make a late push. Nick Saban met with this kid recently, but Georgia is still the front runner.
I think this might be our first wide receiver.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Shaz Preston, 4-star wideout out of St. James, Louisiana.
Yeah, number 3 receiver in the country, first one on our list. Remember, these are the top uncommitted recruits leading up to early signing day on December 15th. 4th-ranked player in the state of Louisiana. Heavy LSU lean. He is going to visit Bama this weekend, and I always say those schools that get that last visit, I think that's a big deal. We'll see if Saban and Bama can close the gaps, but for now, he is an LSU lean.
I was able to cover a lot of high school football in the Midwest, Illinois, St. Louis area. We have a good one out of the STL. That's Kevin Coleman, 4-star wideout.
Yeah, number 1 player in the state of Missouri. Heavy Florida State lean here. That would be a big pickup for Mike Norvell as he's trying to implement his culture on the Seminoles. USC and Oregon also in the mix here, but Coleman leaning Florida State as signing day gets closer and closer.
Not only do we pump out crazy content, we also have hot deals for the audience, including these college football hoodies, thanks to today's presenting sponsor, Fanatics. If you go to chatsports.com/CFB hoodie, you can see these deals that we're talking about. And if you want awesome deals on these hoodies during the fall, winter, as well as spring months, depending on where you are, it does get chilly that time of year. All you got to do, plug in that link down below, chatsports.com/CFB hoodie. All schools pretty much available with the exception of a few, even this Clemson pullover. All of that gear can be found using that link down below. It will be available in the description as well as the comment section of this video. How about Zion Branch, 4-star safety out of Las Vegas?
He's not 330, so don't worry about that. He's not Zion Williamson, who's ballooned to over 300 pounds. Bishop Gorman is a
legendary program.
Yeah, legendary program
Tate Martell,
in Las Vegas. Martell, bunch of kids have come out of there. Better players, to be fair as well. Number 1 player in the state of Nevada. Heavy USC lean, Ohio State in the mix. But looks like Lincoln Riley's got a good chance to lock this kid up.
Anthony Lucas out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Shout out to producer Jack Lauderdale, 4-star defensive lineman, 50 overall, 7th defensive lineman.
Yeah, top player in the state of Arizona. A&M lean, but I wouldn't say a major lean here. Alabama, Nick Saban visited with him recently, so they're making a push as well. I'd say this is in that 60-40 category.
All right, we move ahead. Next up, Cyrus Moss. What do you know about him, H. Graham?
Bishop Gorman as well. So 2 top 75 players out of Bishop Gorman. Oregon lean, but with the crystal ball situation, you got to factor in other programs. He's visiting USC this weekend. You got to think if that visit goes well, more certainty with the Trojans program moving forward. So we'll see how that one shakes out.
And for Shamar James, a 4-star linebacker out of Mobile, of course it's going to be a heavy Alabama lean, but Georgia in the mix as well.
Yeah, number 64 overall player, number 7 linebacker. Like you said, Bama is where it's trending right now, but you never know what 17 and 18-year-olds are going to do at the last minute.
Next up, Curtis Perry, 4-star defensive lineman out of Alabama as well.
Yeah, number 11 defensive lineman in this class, 4th-ranked player in the state of Alabama. Again, heavy Bama lead. Auburn in the mix. Actually, UCF, who he visited with recently, Gus Malzahn. You kind of wonder with like Cincinnati and UCF and Houston, these programs that are going to be Power 5 by these kids' sophomore, junior years. Does that weigh in possibly, especially he goes to UCF, he could potentially start right away, so that's probably been their angle of recruiting, but he is a Bama lead so far.
A bunch of teams in the mix to land the number 1 recruiting class. These things fluctuate depending on commits, decommits, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, a whole host of other schools all in the mix. But your opportunity to predict it, look into the crystal ball and tell us who you think ends up with the number 1 recruiting class. We continue to move forward with the top uncommitted recruits in the 2022 class. Derek Moore, 4-star defensive lineman.
Yeah, St. Francis Academy, a strong program out there in Baltimore. Second best player in the state of Maryland. Decommitted from Oklahoma after Lincoln Riley left, so the crystal ball is basically no prediction. It's the other schools that were in the mix were Michigan, Ole Miss, and USC. So we'll see what happens here. He's probably going to kind of sit back and see what these programs say to him. Keep an eye. This could be one of those names, Chase. this is early signing day.
Yep.
He might wait beyond December 15th because the final signing day, which most kids don't wait for anymore, isn't until February. This could be an example, though, where he takes his time and kind of hits that reset button.
For Jake Johnson, a 4-star tight end out of Georgia, Brian Kelly takes that LSU gig. He decommits. What other teams are in the mix?
Bama, Clemson, Florida were in the mix before. Same deal as Derek Moore. There's no clear front runner, as we sit. I did read, though, he tweeted out, Jake Johnson, that he's the brother of Max Johnson, by the way, LSU quarterback that just that's in the transfer portal.
Yep.
He did tweet that he wants to be an early enrollee, so he's not going to wait too long. But as of now, it's not a clear front runner. He could just follow his brother. He could just follow Max Johnson to wherever he transfers to. So
get that brother Johnson feel.
Keep an eye on that one.
Apologies if I butcher this name. Nigella Kelly.
No, that's correct. Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale, number 12 overall player in Florida, 84 overall. Heavy Miami lean. Cristobal's push for him hard. Seems like that is the direction here. Florida State is in the mix, but looks like it's going to be the Canes here.
An athlete now, Kendrick Law out of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, versatile athlete. He could play offense and defense. We'll see what shakes out here depending on where he commits. LSU lean. He's going to visit this weekend, so an opportunity for Brian Kelly to seal that one up. Alabama also in the mix as well.
Last player, Caden Curry, 4-star defensive lineman out of Indiana.
Heavy Ohio State lean here.
No surprise.
Indiana was in the mix, but the year they had probably turned him off. Number 88 overall player. Bama in the mix, but seems like he's going to stay in the region and go to Ohio State. And again, these are the top 25 uncommitted recruits for the 2022 class. We'll have more recruiting videos in the coming days.